or the favorable, that God treated people with certain favor in the Old Testament during that contextual time? Would you say that applies to this context?
I mean, I would if you only are dealing or selecting another race over another just because they're not from the same people. I mean, that is blatant racism. That's like if I was I hear a white man said he's only gonna take care of other white people because they're white, but he don't deal with black people just because they're black. That's the basis of racism.
I mean, but do you think, because racism, within the context of what we're understanding, right? Racism has to do with looking at someone exterior, right? Looking at someone who's black, white, Asian, and saying, hey, I'm going to favor them based off their exterior look. Well, I'm going to favor them based off what they look like.
Oh, shoot, I was muted. I was talking the whole time. Marlon, I love you, but that's real superficial.
Bro.
I think we know race. I think you know, and like I think you know, and I think you know we know that we believe it to be something a little bit more diverse and robust than just the color of somebody's skin.
But not only that,
I think we know.
Not only that, I literally read the definition at the start of all this. I literally read the definition. I'm going to read it again. I read two definitions last night. The first, which they had a problem with for some reason, was the Oxford definition of races. I'm going to read it again. It says absolutely nothing about skin color. The adjective of races characterized by or showing prejudice, which Terry said that the Lord definitely displayed, discrimination, which Terry and I believe Vocab definitely said the Lord displayed, and Marlon, or antagonism against a person or people on the base of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is minority or marginalized. This is the noun. A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic towards people on the base of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. So we like our initial point, we didn't say absolutely anything at all about skin color. Then when they played the game on the Oxford definition, I said, okay, let's look at the etymology of the word then. I go to the etymology of the word and I'll pull up racialism. The definition of racialism literally means a political system advocating superiority and exclusive rights based on race. And my brother Oz went to a perfect scripture that showed exclusive rights, such as not being charged usury or interest that's attributed to the Israelites. Nobody on that panel dealt with the actual definition. They all did a strong man and said, oh, well, you guys believe that race is talking about your skin color and God doesn't see skin color. No. That's not the definition that we brought up at all.
The crazy part is I gave an example how I have a friend whose skin color doesn't look like me, but he still gets treated just like me because we still come from the same people. I have a homeboy. His name is Shiloh, bro. His father is the same color as us, but he has a white mother. Blue eyes. He got blue eyes. He got what you would call white skin. He got blonde hair, but you can dread it up still because it's still a little nappy. People still treated him like he was me. Mm-hmm. That's when I realized it's not about what you look like; it's who you come from.
Yeah, before y'all got here, I went into Exodus 17, 15, right? Because you read the definition about it being antagonistic against another ethnic group. Mm-hmm. Just real fast. I'm gonna bring it back out again. I tried to see what was in Logos about racism.
Oh, you in that Logos?
Yes, Logos. I guess we done got our money up, huh?
Yeah, we done got. Certain niggas said we have our money though. Niggas said we couldn't afford Logos, right? Certain niggas said we ain't got no money though.
How can we have jobs?
They
Read the
don't have
Bible.
jobs, you know. They're too busy being black. Oh Lord. But yeah, let's see. Exodus. Whoa. How did I do that? That was crazy.
Yeah, it's still a little learning curve with that logos.
Yeah, we still learning.
Like
It's all right, though.
you decided to just open up some completely different. Nah, it for some reason it just opened up a different window. That was crazy. See, he's doing it again. What the heck? Dude, that was crazy. It just opened Microsoft, like the Microsoft version of the internet app, and then just started just going nuts.
No,
But let me see.
Exodus
Where's
17.
this at? Actually, said I told him, bro. You know, what second weekend we got to read this.
You got to.
Exodus 17 and 15. You got it?
Con, I got it. Like it says, and Moses built an altar. It says, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
That's antagonism against an ethnic group. That's racism. Like, forget the interest. I need you to explain to me why the Lord said He's gonna have war with Amalek forever, from generation to generation, for the generation who didn't do what the original generations that attacked Israel did.
Mm-hmm.
Because because they're trying to play the game. Well, they did something to them, but them other kids that's born didn't do anything. So why do they have to punish? Because they descend from those people.
Yep.
That's racism.
That's racism. It's not questionable. It's not questionable.
And then
Well, no, it's.
Then I'm just gonna say the point that everybody skipped over was the definition of racialism. It literally says a political system advocating superiority. When you read Deuteronomy 7:6, says, "For you are an holy people unto the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a special people unto Himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." That is no doubtedly advocating superiority on the basis of somebody's race.
What do we do with that information? But let's keep going.
It's not even just based off of. It's not even racism. Is just based off of just what somebody looks like. It also has to do with who they descend from. As a black person, you saying that I'm black, but I descend from a certain group of people, and those certain group of people that I descend from, you don't like. It ain't even. That's just. It's not even about really just what I look like. You don't like people that are black or they descend from Africa, of West Africa at that.
And if I may, right? So I'm on. This is the etymology of racism, right? In 1982, it's attributed a political system advocating superiority or exclusive rights based on race. And again, that's what we see in the text. Now, if not, you would just have to show me how God isn't. Because we done went to Romans 9. We can go even up in the law and show the differences of God favoring or bestowing a superiority to Israel. So, you just got to show us how He's not racist. Or how about this?
Yeah.
How about this? According to, because you said applying a 21st century context, right? Would you agree in the 21st century, right? Especially when we look at Romans 9 and verse 11 through 13, would you agree in the 21st century context that is a form of racism in modern day terms?
No, I wouldn't say that, because because we have this view of what racism is, right? If we're using the term racism, we have this view of what racism is within our view, within our lens. And so I don't think you can apply it. The view of racism.
But what is that though? What is it? I need to know. If it's not racism, I just want to know what's happening. Like that, it doesn't seem, because it talked about, the definition, the first definition of racism you read, it talked about prejudice. That's not very fair. If before I even existed, the creator that created me already hated me.
That's prejudice.
Kind of prejudice
and discriminatory.
Which
is the textbook definition of racist.
Yeah, I'm gonna build something and you're gonna destroy it. I mean, damn.
or the textbook definition of racism according to the 21st century. But again, I asked, like, okay, according to the 21st century, our modern definition of racist, is it racist? Well, no. What?
I don't even know what it is then.
So what it is?
Within our lens is that we're having a hatred and a prejudice based off of someone's either exterior look or some of their practices, in the sense that I have a heartfelt vitriol hatred for that individual or that group of people. That would be the understanding of racism, and I don't think God operates in that kind of aspect.
Okay, that's just I mean, to me, that's just like, I don't know, because I know people who don't necessarily look. Let's just make it simple. I know people who don't necessarily look quote unquote black, right?
Right.
They may be mixed. They may have a white mom or whatever, but they still experience racism, and it's not based off external looks or practices. It's simply because of the group of people that they're associated with. So I don't know. I guess. Yeah, go ahead, Oz.
I was gonna say I have a friend who's literally, his father looks like me, but his mother's white, and he was born with blonde hair, you know what I'm saying, blue eyes, and he's fair skinned, but people still treated him like he was me, like he was black. Like I literally lived in Mansfield, one of the last places that was segregated. It was obvious that he was treated the same as us, but he didn't just look like me.
Okay. Terry, you finally got your audio back, man?
Man, I'm so sorry about that, guys.
Was it something on your side? What you do, man? I know
it was something on my side.
Terry.
It was something on my side, man.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. Before the show, we had a whole debacle with our stuff too, man. So it's just
oh
acknowledge.
My goodness. Yeah, literally the only time I ever used this vMix was with you, Marlon. So yeah.
Yep. So welcome, man. I'm glad the audio situation got taken care of. And obviously we have Vocab Malone, who is the Hebrew apologist of all Hebrew apologists. And so
whatever that means.
So we got definitely a nice panel right now. So I don't know, Terry. So what is your thoughts concerning this whole deal of racism, man? Obviously you heard some of my argumentation. You heard some of their responses. So what are some of your inputs on this?
It was interesting. I'll say interesting that Hebrew Israelites will go to the Oxford Dictionary to define racism. So I'm on the same page with you, Marlon. I'm wanting a biblical definition, because I don't believe that, it's not that we can't use the dictionary, obviously, but when you look up words like marriage and different words, I don't think that the world's definition aligns with the biblical perspective. And so, yeah, I would say.
And see, I went through this before y'all got in here. I went through this earlier about how, like, that word doesn't literally exist there, but you see the concept. And for Christians to ever try to make a point and say we're crazy for saying that, y'all believe in the Trinity. If I type in Trinity as a word search in the Bible, you won't find that.
It's nowhere in there.
But you will say the concept exists, right? I can type in a hypostatic union. That does not exist there, but you'll say the concept does. A submission motif, right? But you'll say the concept is there. So you can't say that. Like, that's just you have nothing better to offer, so that's what you say. That's what's happening there. How's my camera bugging?
I ain't gonna lie, I was about to ask you, bro. It's kind of,
I don't know what was going on. It's still bugging.
He kind of hitting up.
I'm glitching out. Let me just do it like this for a minute. I'll figure it out when we're going.
That we would have to pull more from scripture and not so rely on the Oxford Dictionary.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and so that's what I would come in and say, like, okay, where in the Bible, where in I don't know, a Bible dictionary where it's define racism, where defined so we can have a contextual understanding of racism.
And vocab could help me with it if I'm wrong, but I would say that the reason why you don't really see such a clear definition of racism in scripture is because racism
What's up?
Notice how he said, and vocab can help me on this, but like, bro, honestly, like as we watch this, I'm gonna make a tally of every time they either call on vocab's help or vocab has to jump in and save these men.
Yeah, save them. I can be the trampoline that vocab jumps off of, right? While I make this point.
Like, why does another man have to help you in a concept that's so is basic, man? Like everybody knows what racism is, especially if you're a quote unquote black man in America or a brown man in America. Everybody knows what racism is. We can pick up on the subtle little hint of racism. But when it comes to this Bible, all of a sudden, racist doesn't mean racist.
Man, yeah. As soon as you start becoming a Christian, you don't believe in racism no more. Like, that is whenever I see like a black person in Christianity, they act like if racism even in America don't exist. So I know for damn well when they look in here, you ain't finna tell them no racism in here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I was even having a conversation with this dude at my job today about it. Christianity makes you forget about racism all entirely. It makes you forget about racism. It makes you forget about any type of national like having any reverence towards your nation whatsoever. But the thing is, the crazy thing about it is the rest of the nations aren't affected like that. Mm-hmm. Like an Arab man who's a Christian who will forsake Islam, like you see somebody like God Logic come and confound them real quick because they just like Christian with their book, come and confound them. They'll turn out to be Christians after that and follow this man. But at the end of the day, they're Arab first over everything else.
Yep.
We're the only people who will say, no, that doesn't matter no more. Let me just be like the Caucasian man. We're the only people who do that. That's why later when he says, let's just see if we can get to it. Because when he talks about the home ownership, I can't wait till we talk about the interest rates.
Brother,
look, I have the tabs open.
I'm glad you do.
Same as I.
Because I started doing some research. I did research before because I've done projects like this when I went to Prairie View. And for him to say what he said, just let me know he was in a sucky place.
He's a sucky place, bro. That teacup, that spoon is working on that teacup.
Oh,
did not exist to the extent of what we are used to defining racism as. I think that when you think about racism, not that there isn't racism outside of America, but I think that America really honed and defined what it means to be racist. And so I think that concept of race and judging people and being prejudiced solely on a person's skin color is more of a newer concept that isn't seen as much in scripture. Not that you can't find a verse here or two where people are prejudiced against other races. Obviously you can, but the way that the Oxford Dictionary describes it, I believe, is more so towards like the American version of the more modern way that we see racism.
What is American racism? Like, what do you see that as? What is that?
American racism? I mean, I would see it as what we experienced in our history. I would see it as whites. I'm not saying that whites, I don't believe that whites are the only ones who can be racist, but I see it as a particular race viewing another race as inferior solely because of the color of their skin.
So it's not because of the ethnicity.
Not entirely, because your ethnicity doesn't necessarily determine your skin color. And I don't think people can actually identify your ethnicity 100% just by looking at a person. So when I talk about racism from an American perspective, I think of people looking at a person's skin color and seeing that person's darker than me, and so therefore he's lesser than me, or that person's lighter than me and therefore he's, but that's not, you can't tell a person's ethnicity based on the color of their skin.
I mean, I'll agree that in America we go off of so-called color, but if I am a person that descends from a certain group of people and I don't like these other people because they descend from somebody different from me, is that racist?
No, I would say that that's part of racism, but no, that's not. I would say that's leaning more towards prejudice, being prejudiced.
Why would I be prejudiced,
What is part of,
bro?
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Bro. I forgot his name. Y'all remember his name?
Terry.
Terry. I'll be honest with you, Terry. Like, Sparking Zero comes out tomorrow. I think that's more your lane.
That is definitely his lane.
Bro, I love Terry, but
I love you. Oh,
man, that was bad.
Sparking Zero, we've been waiting for it for 17 years, man. There's 180 some people on the roster, bro. I'm telling you, that I think that's more your lane,
bro. He literally said that's more so prejudice. Let me read the first part of this definition again.
Read it again.
Racist, characterized by or showing prejudice. The brother just agreed with the definition.
Yeah, it's crazy work. That's crazy work.
Because you're preferring something over another thing.
What is that like? You mean another?
I mean,
race?
it's like I prefer a certain team over another team, or I prefer
but
like
not
a
teams.
food over.
Like, with people. If I don't like, let's say if I didn't say,
you can still be prejudiced against people. You can still be prejudiced against.
But let's say I didn't
races,
say white
genders.
or black. Let's say I didn't use those terms. What if I said a Caucasian? A Caucasian is a vast range of ethnicity. It's a bunch of people, because even people that are from Germany that are Caucasian are still from the descendants from the people that's in from the English.
No. Yeah, I got what you're saying. What I'm saying is I agree exactly what you're trying to say with that. What I'm saying is that is a part of racism, absolutely, but that doesn't define all of what racism is.
So if I
So everyone who is racist, I would say that they are prejudiced in a sense, but I wouldn't say that everyone who's prejudiced automatically constitutes as a racist. If that makes any sense.
So what if I told you that what's your nationality, brother? You so-called black man?
Yeah, my dad's black.
Because what if I told you, hey man, you can't charge interest on other black people, but white people you can? Is that racist?
That's ignorant. I mean,
but is it racist though?
I would say that it would classify as racist, but again, that's just a part of racism.
Got him.
Look, I'm telling you right, man. Look, man.
He fell into the trap card, huh?
It just got fully activated, bro. I'll let him make it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do we see that type of racism, or whatever you want to call it, in the Bible?
I would say that you see that part of racism in the Bible. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would need more.
But that's a problem. If you say you see that part of race, like people don't understand. Like, Christianity, not only does Christianity make it to where you don't know what racism and words mean anymore, you have no idea of the nature of God. Like, give me Daniel 7. I just want to get this real quick.
Got you. Let me get this real quick.
Before you read that, Donwalla, can you get Malachi 3:6?
God.
What you want to Daniel 7?
And 7 and 9. But I need Donwalla's precept first.
Go ahead.
You said Malachi 3 and verse 6. It reads, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed."
So Hebrew Israelites always bring this up, like the Lord doesn't change, right? There's a reason why the Lord doesn't change, right? Because what's like, think about the word change, like basically being different over time, right? Your form changes or something. Well, I can't use changes if I'm defining the word. You like it becomes something becomes different over the expanse of time. So read Daniel chapter 7 real fast.
It's the book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. "And I beheld till the thrones were casted down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool."
So the Ancient of Days is somebody before time. That's the Lord. The Lord exists outside of time. So if he ever shows himself to be one particular way at any point, that's who he is. So that's why the Lord doesn't change, because it's impossible for him to change, because for him to change, he would have to now be subject to time.
We know he's not subject to time.
And we know he's not subject to time. But since y'all don't know the nature of God, that's why you do stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things where it's like you guys just don't have any idea. You have no idea.
Yeah, I would say that you would need more of a robust definition of racism, one that would include having a sinful mindset, which God himself can't be sinful. So there's things in the Bible that I would say that, I mean, you could throw out like jealousy. You know, I don't believe that God wants us to be jealous to a certain degree, but I can also see where the Bible also says that God is jealous.
When you talk about sin is a certain thing, and it has a certain definition in the Bible. Now, for God to have you said like a sinful mindset, where in the Bible does it say like if somebody doesn't like another race, that is a sin?
I would say that ultimately there's a couple of definitions in Scripture that talk about what sin is. Obviously, lawlessness is sin, lack of faith, but ultimately I would say anything that's contrary to God is sinful.
Let me scoot up.
And yeah, I would say if you are contrary to.
So is the Torah the word of God?
Whether they're waiting or applying. So there's different
Okay, there we go.
financial measures.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're trying to skip to usury, it's at the
So is the
45-minute mark.
Torah the word 25-minute mark?
We passed that.
Usury 45.
Yeah, that's part of the word
You
of
said the
God.
45-minute mark?
45.
Yeah, 45.
Okay, let's go there. Oh, this guy got the timestamps.
Yeah, man.
You know, we gotta do no thing.
Okay,
Whatever your name is,
okay,
Sicarii, Space City,
Guys,
you're not in charge of anybody. It's not going to happen.
All I'm saying is,
All right.
I don't know who.
Guys,
I don't know who you. I don't know who you are. If it,
All
he said
right,
he's going to
all
let me go, so this is
Go
what it's like.
All right,
Notice
Hey, go.
when this is what happens
guys.
when
Listen,
when
guys.
they just
All
stop talking while I'm talking.
Why
Then.
he's so pressed?
Space City. I don't even know your name.
Space City.
So
Not now.
here's what,
I don't know why you made me skip that part. I freaking love that part, bro. He said we gonna read the law. We gonna read this. This is vocab trying his hardest not to read the book. Trying hard just to give a monologue. We're not having it.
No, man.
here's what it is. Marlon asked me if I'd come on, so I said yeah, and you're fine asking these two gentlemen questions, but the second someone responds to you, you lose your crap and start interrupting because I have answers for you and you don't like it. So you start jumping up and down and say, why don't you debate my leaders? That's what's going on
No,
here.
see, no. We have to get that. That's important. That's important. Let me see.
I've been saying this whole time.
It is.
We're not talking about skin color. I read racism in the etymology. It says advocating superiority and exclusive rights based on race, and that's what we see here. There you go, Vocab. How you find? And I will say, I find it very funny how nobody has taken this debate with the higher ups like chief or deacon, but you take it with us. So go ahead.
Marlon asked me to be on the panel.
No. See now. See now. Vocab. Now I saved this. I was gonna say it earlier. Now, Vocab, you ran from a debate from me.
You did.
I have the receipts. I literally have the receipts.
But they want no smoke.
We was going to debate about if God is racist, and you ran off on the plug twice. That's what happened.
Hey,
That's what happened. But
They
you
got mad when I called him out.
like that. Like, come on now. Like,
he was really, for some people that he said he doesn't know, he was really pressed. I'll say that.
and he did know, y'all, because he called out what city you are from later in this. You watch us.
We know.
I didn't know who else was going to be.
I don't need explanation. Go ahead and read.
Whatever your name is, Sicarii, Space City, you're not in charge of anybody. It's not going to happen.
All I'm saying is,
I don't know who you are. He said he's going to let me go, so this is what it's like. Notice when this is what happens.
Listen, guys.
Would you just stop talking while I'm talking then? Space City. I don't even know your name.
Space City.
So
in and out,
here's what it is. Marlon asked me if I'd come on, so I said yeah. And you're fine asking these two gentlemen questions, but the second someone responds to you, you lose your crap and start interrupting because I have answers for you and you don't like it. So you start jumping up and down and say, why don't you debate my leaders? That's what's going on here. I didn't know what you were going to talk about. So it's not taking a debate with you. I don't know who you are. I'm on a panel with two Hebrew Israelites from Space City. There. With everything I said, I challenge you to give a response from Scripture. Notice I gave a whole bunch of, and I was very succinct. I was very to the point that, number one, interest in and of itself is not a sin. Unequal weights and measures, that's the sin. What I would challenge you from Sicarii, who have a flexible morality, which is really wickedness, you think you can have unequal weights and measures.
Says the people who don't keep a law, though.
Don't keep, bro.
A flexible morality.
Christians love to talk about how we keep the law. Y'all don't keep a single law. Y'all literally believe it's wickedness to follow God's Torah. Like, I don't understand that.
This man said flexible morality from a Christian is hilarious.
With so-called outsiders, but yet the Scripture doesn't allow that. The Scripture allows interests, but interest in and of itself is not a sin. And Israel, at that time, as a theocratic nation, is allowed to make financial rules that are fair yet benefit the populace. Populations still do this today. This is simply beholding to your national interest. It's not racism, which again is an unbiblical word that didn't appear to the 1500s. And so we should use
Let's analyze that, though. Let's analyze that, Vocab. You're saying the interest isn't a sin. We never said that. I mean, you're just saying this to say words, right? And then you said that they're allowed to do things in the national interest. That nation is Israel, and they can do this. They can do oppressive interest on a heathen, and the Lord told them to do that. That's racism. What are we talking about, bro? Like that's what I mean by he says a lot of words and doesn't say anything. It's crazy.
Local words such as favoritism or partiality, such as James mentions, and the concept of nation, tribe, and tongue, which again matches closer to the concept of ethnicity or people or culture group. So within that, as a final nail in the coffin, to show you that what you're saying about this modern idea of racism that you're touting is incorrect, scripturally speaking, from not only just what I just said, but from a very definitive verse that you won't be able to deal with directly because of two key things. But I'm going to point them out. Colossians chapter 3, verse 11 says here, and the here is a reference to the church. Here there is not Greek and Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free, but Christ is all and in all. Paul's not going to refer to Jews as barbarians. Barbarians are not known to be Jewish people. This is clearly not a reference to Jewish people. Show me a tribe of Jewish barbarians in the first century the Colossians would have been aware of. But even worse than that is this word Scythian. Everyone in the live chat, stop listening to me and Google Scythian mummy. Scythian mummy. Scythian. Look for the ones of the warriors that have their hair intact.
I want to see that. Like it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the entire conversation. But I still want to see that though.
Bro, it's irrelevant for him to say you don't see no Jews being called barbaric. Well, you do, because we believe that the Gentiles are people that's been cast away. Being called a barbarian just means you don't have you're not civil. It's not like a nation of people. Like I can call anybody a barbarian. Like I don't even know why he brought up that point.
It's silly because it's like what he's doing is he's trying to throw out bait to get away from what the law says, and now we're talking about Paul's epistles, and it's a smart tactic. Because if you're gonna deal with the law, you like everything in the Old Testament. Like I said in the very beginning of this, when you're dealing with the Old Testament, is clear racism. But you can go to Paul's epistles because there's so much ambiguity. There's so much things that are vague to where now you can just say whatever you want. You can make anything be anything there. That's why he's doing that. It has nothing to do with the conversation. Because let's say we entertain it, right? Let's say we say Christ died for everybody. That's what he's going to try to establish there in Colossians 3. Let's say that, right? That doesn't stop the fact that the Lord said I can be oppressive to a Gentile using usury.
It just doesn't change the fact.
like that it's so irrelevant, vocab. Like you're like that's what I mean about like I don't understand how this dude is y'all's champion. I don't understand it.
Just real quick, look, this is G19 G9:15. This is talking about barbarians in the Greek. It literally says any foreign ignorant of the Greek language and the Greek culture, whether mentally or morally. If you back in the day, if you didn't speak Greek languages or you didn't rock with Greek culture, you was called a barbarian. So that means Jews were called barbarians because they don't rock with Greek culture.
And they looked at them like that.
We know because that's bro.
Well, because you see, I forgot if it's Pontius Pilate or another Roman scribe. They looked at our laws like they're repulsive. That's how they looked at us, like our culture and our mannerisms as if they were repulsive. Like so we would fit in that category just by definition.
Yes, that's why I was like, bro, I know he didn't just say there were no Jew barbarians. I'm like, bro, that is crazy. And this is when I realized, I ain't gonna lie, I thought, I only been doing this about 4 years now. So, when I seen Vocab, I thought he was one of them ones, but I ain't gonna lie. Vocab don't got no smoke, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was kind of disappointed, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I was like, damn. I was like, you really just handicapped.
Blonde. They have Euro-type features. The Scythians are not part of the phenotype that you would accept.
You hear me?
Saw them walking down the street in Houston.
What's up?
Yeah, Slacky. I was on mute, so I wanted to read something real quick on the Scythians, right? So this is from Britannia.com on the Scythians, and it literally says the royal Scythians were headed by a sovereign whose authority was transmitted to his son. Eventually, about the time of Herodotus, the royal family intermarried with Greeks. In 339 BC, the ruler Athenas was killed at age 90 while fighting Philip II of Macedonian. The community was eventually destroyed in the 2nd century BCE. Palakis being the last sovereign whose name is preserved in history. So these people, the Scythians, literally intermingled with the Greeks at the time and the Greek coaches that was there, bro. So by the time you get to the Paul, you literally have Israelites or the Greeks or the Gentiles, whoever you want to put on them, that intermarried with the Scythians.
And then what about the diaspora? What about the Greek diaspora then?
But I mean, the cities could have been anybody.
The Scythians could have been anybody.
So what do we? It's just like, what do we like? Even if we acknowledge your point, you have problems there.
And
like,
they were nomadic.
That's why he keeps talking. It's the oldest Christian defense mechanism. Just keep talking. If I keep talking, I look like I'm smart to other Christians.
Mm-hmm. And the mummy.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say the mummy. He's literally only talking about one picture on the internet, bro. There's only one picture of the mummy that he's talking about, and then it's only completed because they did a scan of his face, and he has like some orange hair sticking out, bro. That's it.
And if he ever showed that, I'd be like, okay, let's say you're right. That's one. Yeah. What nation is homogenous? I would love to see it.
Bro, that's the question. What nation just has one group of people and no other people around in it?
Yeah, I would love to see it. You think it's just like, I just thought this man was a little bit more formidable, and he's really.
So the scripture is against your idea. That's an unbiblical, modernized idea that's borrowed from Europeans who were in sin, and now you're imitating their sin.
Then why you don't wait, hold on. It's like I'm gonna keep going. But why don't you take the debate then? Why did you run off on the debate then?
He got all this information that he swore he got, but anytime somebody called him out for debate, you ran, bro. You skedaddled out of there, bro.
You skedaddled. You did, like, he wanted me to change it to. You wanted me to change the topic or the subject matter to lineages, and no, we're not doing that. I'm not about to change this to where you can take this. So now you want to take the debate? No, we're not doing that. Is God a racist? If it's so easy to confound, why won't you take the debate? Like, it's crazy.
Sin as if it's a good thing. So I don't think you have a solid answer for any of the points brought up. In fact, my guess is you'll go to something else. But I think it's.
I was about to ask you about that. You said a Scythian, right? So that's somebody that's an inhabitant of Scythia, right?
Well, they can be. They could live there. Okay, they could live in other places.
If so, what you're saying is, if you're an inhabitant of that place, you're considered a Scythian, right?
No, you can be, but it doesn't have to be, right?
No, when I look in the Greek, it literally says a Scythian, an inhabitant of Scythia. So anybody that lives in Scythia is called a Scythian. So if I was to live in Scythia, I would be a Scythian. It has nothing to do with the color.
That's why this is basically Siberia.
Man, stop glazing, man.
Bro, I can't stand. No. Bro, I'm a nigga that reads. I don't know if they don't know this or not, but I read the exact definition. That exactly what you said, Yadi. No area is just got one race of people, and you're gonna have other people living there. But if you live in Scythia, you're a Scythian. It has nothing to do with if you had blonde hair. So him bringing out that mummy point, that's why I brought that up. I'm like, bro, you bringing out that mummy don't mean nothing. All of the people didn't look like that.
Yeah, because it's like, you better than me. I wouldn't even acknowledge it. I said, bro, we're going right back to what I brought out. Especially after Don Wallace said, we ain't about to get loud about Deuteronomy 23 and now run away from it. No, we're going right back here. That sounds good. You know, that's your breakdown. You know, that's your interpretation. You know,
crazy part is you went to Paul, but Paul hosted it.
Yeah, he hosted that, man. He said he believes in everything in the law and the prophets. So let's go back to the law and prophets.
Yeah, you know,
the area of the world we're talking about. Okay, so you got to show me the diaspora over there. And what my point to say that is when you actually look at the way Scythians look, not what you're trying to import. I'm going. Notice
real quick. He said he got to show the diaspora over there. Saint Andrews got sent over there, and he was one of the 12 disciples. And what did Christ tell him to do? Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that means there was some Israelites over there. I just want to throw that out if you go read. But okay.
and that with the Greek diaspora with the Jews.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about, bro?
It's crazy.
You're trying to go to a word game. I'm going to archaeology. I'm asking you to look up pictures of mummies. That's a fact. I'm telling you to actually check out a hard evidence in front of you. When you look up Scythian mummies, you'll find out that they look like the people that you would condemn when you're out there on a Saturday night. So I know what you're trying to say. I think that's probably.
I thought he didn't know y'all.
You knew he was in Houston, though, right?
He knew you from Houston, and y'all go to camp at night.
I mean, you've been watching some videos, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I
About
thought he
as
didn't know y'all.
Well,
good a comeback as we could expect. But when you actually look at the Scythians themselves, they have blonde hair.
yeah, can I ask a question about what he just said about the person coming from Scythia being a Scythian? Would you say that everyone who lived in Israel or came from Israel was an Israelite?
You said does everybody? Well, it depends. If somebody
But
lives
why would
in
it
Israel,
depend there and not with? I mean,
because
you know what I'm saying, like I'm using the same
about to
standard.
explain.
Okay.
It actually goes into what we was going into the law. It's obvious that just because somebody lives in Israel, they're not an Israelite, because we can do things to them that you can't do to an Israelite, even if they live there. That's the whole point of the so-called usury that Vocab was going into and who he desperately ran away with. I mean, ran away from. He didn't even explain how we know in America that black people get charged higher than white people in entrance. You can go do this. You can go look that up. All of y'all on this panel would say that is racist. And what we are reading in the Bible is a nation
An interest
of people.
in what? What interest? I'm asking about the claim that you just made.
Bank
What
loans,
interest?
on house loans, on a lot of stuff, college loans.
So you're saying that my interest is higher than white?
Yes.
So my interest on my house.
Yeah. You can go look up the statistics.
I doubt that.
So if somebody, hey, because Dominic in here talking too, bring the receipts out, bro.
Let's go. Let's
Bring the receipts out, bro.
So let's do this, right? Niggas, we just
bro. And you know, black people, y'all get on my nerves, bro. Because y'all try to act like y'all be trying to save faith for these white people like they are not doing this to y'all. And it's like if y'all don't, it's like y'all don't do no research of the oppression of what's going on to us right now. That's why y'all niggas be in the sunken place trying to vote for Kamala Harris. Like, God damn.
Let me see. There's
look at Dominic in here. Watch, he about to get cut too. He obviously he don't do no research either.
So this is.
Hey Dominic, just hit the link whenever you want to, bro. I'll take the smoke. We take all phase around here.
Yeah. And this is recent too. This is recent, fairly recent. This is from home ownership, and it's an org. It's a .org, so it's not commercial, right? So it's citable if anybody knows anything about citations, right? It says mortgage firms charge higher interest rates for perceived risk factors such as higher loan to value ratios and low credit scores. As a result, the average black homeowner's interest rate is 33 basis points higher than the average white owner, and black homeowners pay about $250 more per year in interest charges because black borrowers are disproportionately locked out of opportunities, redlining, for refinancing their mortgages to low interest rates. Refinance activity is 2.5% higher for white homeowners than black homeowners. The cost of this disparity is an extra $475 per year for black borrowers. Bro, this goes all the way down. It's just for every aspect of owning a house and managing it, interest rates, where you can lease it, the type of loan that you get. This entire article shows you that it's higher for black people. And matter of fact, let's look at this. This was made in March 9, 2022. This is 2 years ago. And a Jewish person came up with this. which is also ironic, right? There's another one. Let's see.
Yeah, I sent you a couple too. I got one from Harvard. I got a Harvard study.
Oh yeah, we need that.
Yeah, I
Where'd you
sent
send that
it
to?
on Facebook. I got
No,
yeah.
send it on send it in the back chat,
All right.
in the private chat.
And I got one. I'm
I
about
can
to
send
send this one too, bro. I'm about to send this one, bro.
Is it closing the house gap? Let's see. There's another one. Yeah, right. It says this is closing the homeowners gap with will require rooting systematic racism out of mortgage underwriting. Right. This is in 2021. Right. It's the same. No, this is the same website. This is just another thing. It says the 30 percentage point home ownership gap between white and black households is wider than it was in 1960, when explicit housing discrimination was still illegal. What they did to black people, literally. But it's not. But this just don't exist. Systematic racism don't exist. That's cool. Let's keep going.
It's sickening sometimes how our people just say and act like they're not doing this. And I ain't gonna lie. That's why half of black people gonna die here, bro. Because y'all love it here. Y'all love being oppressed. They love being oppressed.
Bro, there's it gets worse. It gets worse. Applicants of color experience higher mortgage denial rates than white applicants, which helps sustain the gap, right? So even if you have the money, they deny you. What is that? That's racism. And so lenders often attribute this disparity to poor average credit statistics of applicants of color rather than the consequences of discrimination. This perspective overlooks the fact that racial disparities pervade the credit indicators that drive lending outcomes. The 3 C's that determine mortgage access, credit, collateral, and capacity reflect the results of a long history of racial discrimination in the U.S. and private institutions. So systematic oppression with the home ownership and lending. Y'all just love the white man so goddamn much. It's crazy. And the fact, and let's say you didn't want to even accept that. There was something created. Remember, we saw this right here where it says, I'm gonna read this part again. A 30 percentage point home ownership gap between black and white households is wider than it was in 1960, back when they could just, I'm gonna read it. It's when explicit housing discrimination was still illegal. In the 1960s, they enacted systematic repression to redline us into specific places, deny us loans, and make it harder ultimately for us to get a house. And if we did get one, it was in the worst neighborhoods, right? To the point to where they had to enact something where it says, remember when it says when explicit housing discrimination was legal, they had to enact this right here. The equal, oh, sure, it's not even showing on the screen. Let me see. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act, right? Because they were discriminating against people with about race, number one, color, religion, natural origins, sex, marital status, age, and use of public assistance, which also diversely affected black people versus anybody else. That's why if anybody has the Chase Bank app, when you scroll all the way down, it says they're an equal opportunity lender. Because, and the reason why they have to say that is because of this damn act right here in 1970. Like, we're not going to pretend like systematic racism isn't in. Like, that's what I mean about Christianity. It makes you just oblivious to what the hell is going on, literally. We're not about to pretend like you ever noticed how black households and black families have been in the same neighborhood damn near for generation to generation to generation? This is why.
Yep.
That's why, literally. Let me get that one from Harvard.
Yeah, because the Harvard one got the graph.
Oh, you got the. Oh, we need the graph. We need the graph.
It's the first one. The first one I sent. Yep.
This one is high-income black owners receive higher interest rates than low-income white homeowners. That's crazy. Where's the graph? Let me see the graph. This graph?
Yep.
That's nuts. Interest rate percentage, it's higher. All of that is higher.
So what I said, I can just pull out my ass,
bro. And look at for even if you were if you made 100K a year, it's still a whole percentage point higher.
Hey, just because you got you some bread and you doing good, then you think you the same now? No,
Rich nigga, poor nigga, still nigga, bro.
still nigga, bro.
Yep.
Crazy. Let me see the other one.
Yeah, the other one goes into how it's not just homes, but it's damn near every interest rate.
Blacks, Hispanics face higher interest rates, fees on credit card. Oh, I'm feeling that one. I know that one. Is there a part that you want me to go into?
You can just read the first paragraph.
Black or Hispanic consumers consistently receive higher credit card interest rates and lower credit limits than white customers. The Government Accountability Office said, "Oh, the government says this."
Yes.
Oh my, that's all we need.
I mean, hey, click the report. Click the hyperlink. Click the hyperlink on the report.
Lord. Let's see what the report says. Oh, this is from the government.
It's from the
government. The government knows that they do systematic racism.
Yikes. Oh.
But according to vocab, I mean, the way we got to look at it is that's just America trying to better their nation.
Yeah, through systematic oppression, which is racism.
So Israel does the same thing.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wow, boy.
I tell you one thing, bro. You can you can sit there talking about we crazy. We just pulling stuff out of our ass. You were nuts, bro. When the government said, when the government of America is telling you to your face that they're doing it, I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you don't want to accept that, I mean, shalom,
bro. A person from the government can tell a black person, we do systematic racism. They'll go, nah, I know you don't, bro. We all one in Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Since when?
I know you probably do, but if somebody was to do that because of their race, you would say that's racist, correct?
I'm just telling you, I know my interest rate, and it's lower than the national average. So I'm just saying, you made a claim.
If somebody charged somebody,
and this is a sidebar. Of course it is, because we're in hyperinflation due to Biden's freaking administration. Of course it's going to be lower. Yeah, the one that y'all's damn savior, right? Of course it is. What are we talking about? We're talking about homes, mortgage rates of like 6 to 8%. When has that been the norm? So of course it's going to be lower than national average if you got it before hyperinflation. Of course, of course.
Stuff like that,
because of their race, or because they don't look like somebody else, or because they don't descend from the same people as them, is that racist?
I would say, and I've been saying that can be part of racism. But what I don't hear is a sinful mindset. What I don't hear is a full comprehensive definition.
No, I'm asking. So you're saying that's part of racism? Yeah, you're saying that's part of racism, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I could say that.
So in
could
Deuteronomy,
be, but it doesn't necessarily.
So in Deuteronomy,
mean
if Israelites
racist.
So in Deuteronomy, if Israelites, a nation of people, charge another person because they don't descend from the same people higher than they would another Israelite, you wouldn't say that's racist.
And that be the shit I be talking about.
That's that bullshit, bro.
I wouldn't consider it racist because God said they could do it, and my sweet Jesus ain't racist.
Bro, that is crazy. Hey, as long as you don't think it's racist, I can't wait till we get to the kingdom. We upcharging you, just smiling my face. Thank you, bro. I'm like, yeah, bro. I really rock with you, so I charge you a little higher than everybody else.
Yeah, that's gonna be 40% extra, bro.
40%. Yeah, for you, my friend, I get you a good deal.
I give you good
40%. I gave him 45.
I can't wait.
But
unless
if a white
you can
person
say that they did it because they hated those people, then
if you charge somebody a higher interest rate than your own people, you definitely don't like them.
No,
that's all you can do is laugh, bro.
All you can do is
laugh, bro. You're not gonna sit here, bro. You're not gonna sit here and play with me like that is Oh, well, I mean, that don't mean they hate them. So I like you because I'm charging you higher interest rates than my people. All right, bro.
And that's why Vocab's not saying anything and letting him be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I know.
He said, I'm ready when y'all want to talk about Paul. I'm right here for it. But I mean, you know, these commandments. You know, I mean, that's what this guy's for.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's just separating things out. One has to do with
I know y'all are playing with it, so we might as well.
No, we want to give the full context. Nobody thinks this is a good point that we need to run from. If you want to stay here, we can stay here.
I said we can move on because we don't see eye to eye on it.
Right, but there's a few things I think that you've neglected really to deal with. One is this one category has to do with international business. It's like international finance. So you have a different set of rules. The other one is taking care of somebody that's a fellow citizen with you. And it's interesting, if you study the background of it, the other prohibitions against interest only dealt with one class of Israelite. Do you know the class of Israelite that is specified the other times rules on interest are brought up in the Bible?
Can you show it?
Yes, but it's important to know because what I worry about.
Show me.
Yes, I can.
And this part is so crazy.
Yeah, bro. When I started reading that, it don't say nothing that he said.
Nothing.
Yes, I can.
Israelites.
Yes, I can. Exodus 22, Exodus 22:25. That's one place.
So, wait, did he say an Israelite can be taxed, but like not as much as a poor person, like, as far as interest goes?
Yes, he's trying to say that we don't give interest on poor people, but we give interest on higher ups, basically. But the Bible says we can't give interest on any type of Israelite.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like that, like
he just lied.
He just lied. Just lying.
He's a liar, bro. But he's a follower of Christ, though. He just lied in front of everybody.
And bro, he knows.
And the reason why I think it's important to bring Exodus 22:25 out is what it shows is that maybe people have looked at these passages on lending and borrowing just with an eye to score points with people without actually understanding the purpose. And so we want to understand the full purpose and the context of them. It specifically details it's a poor person.
What?
Exodus 22:25. In Exodus 22:25, it specifically details that this person is a poor person. And so when you look at the background, this is the background of the Deuteronomy passage. It mainly has to do with Israelites who are poor. That's the main issue at hand. And that's why when you have the security loans, you know, where you give something so they can hold it till you can pay them back, there's a certain type of blanket that's prohibited because that's what a poor person would use to keep them warm, and that could not be taken from them. And in fact, the minor prophets got on Israel for taking things like that from the poor Israelites later on. So there's a number of things going on here. Israel.
Nick, what the fuck are you talking about? We talking about a blanket. And I want the record to show. And this ain't just for vocab. When you see somebody talking about the Bible and trying to give an exegesis without reading the verse, you should automatically know it's bullshit. You should automatically you saw that down while he's giving an exegesis. It's like it's headcanon. Like he thinks a verse says something and is breaking it down based off of what he believes that verse says without reading the verse.
Yeah, bro. So this is what I did, right? Because this Logos, man, it's kind of crazy. I typed in loan, right? And it says a loan, lending of money or other goods with the exception of reimbursement. Loans are mentioned throughout the Bible, particularly in the law codes of the Pentateuch. Lending on interest to the poor is prohibited in Exodus 22 and 25. Leviticus 25, verse 35 to 38 requires Israelites to receive no interest from fellow Israelites because of the goodness of Yahweh to Israel. However, charging interest to foreigners is allowed. Deuteronomy 23 and 19. Like, what are we doing? It says, according to Deuteronomy 15, 1 through 6, a creditor is required to release a fellow Israelite from his debt in the year of Jubilee, but may require payment from a foreigner.
Finished. And you know what's crazy about that? We didn't even need Logos to tell us that.
No, no. It's just he, bro. He is what I don't want to say on the platform, bro.
Hey,
but it starts with a P, and the second word starts with an S. Okay, or POS. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a POS. That's what he is.
Hey man, look, man. I'm saying it, man. He's a piece of shit, bro. I'll be I'm saying, bro, because we already went through before y'all got on. I went through the part where he said he's not gonna go after the small hats, but he's gonna go after us.
Oh, you already played that?
Yeah, I already which is crazy. But like that's what he is. You're literally lying and making up stuff, and you're creating a straw man and attacking the hell out of it.
Israelites are forming a nation. They should look out for each other just like nations are supposed to do. That's not racism. That's called protecting national interest. So just like today, the United States puts tariffs on things that come in from places like China, because that way it gives American businesses a better chance to compete in areas such as steel. It's not to do with racism. It's to make sure that your own economy thrives first before you make a foreign economy prosper. You guys are turning something into...
Pause there real quick. I just want everybody to know when you watch that, he talking about product right now. We talking about people. Who said it is racist to charge interest on product that's coming in? We not talking about that. We talking about, is it racist to charge interest on people that don't come from the same people as you?
And I don't know if any of y'all noticed that. I noticed this, but watch this, right? They spent their whole time talking about racism as a modern term just to turn around and talk about tariffs.
Where's that in the Bible?
That's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy. Don't tell me this word doesn't exist. Don't tell me this word or this concept doesn't exist because in the Bible, because that's a new thing. But the tariffs and the way America does natural interest isn't in there. And then say that's the equivalent of what's happening right here. You basically what I said about the concept. The word isn't there, but the concept is there. That's what you're trying to do with usury, but not with racism. I wonder why that is, Vocab.
Yeah, that's a powerful point. That's a powerful point. Now usury, we can apply the modern definition in modern terms and modern examples, but we can't do it with racism.
It's crazy. And this is your champion. Is this your king?
Is this your king?
Is this your king?
Is this your king?
This guy's like T'Challa. We throwing this dude off the waterfall, bro.
Racism that's about international commerce and business that is still practiced to this day by nations, regardless of the way they look.
Exactly.
It has to do with nations' financial solvency.
Knee pads.
Say what?
Bro, I just want to say,
no, I agree exactly.
I know he needs ice on his knees.
Get off your knees, boy.
Going to work, boy.
Boy, going to work. Knee pads, bro. Just like I just don't operate like this, bro. If I don't have nothing to offer the conversation, I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
You're talking about Jesus, but if you don't get on somewhere.
Exactly what Vocab was saying, like when you go to another country, if you get a visa and you stay over there for a certain period of time, there's certain financial rules that you have to follow, certain things that you have to pay. But I'm not looking at those people as though they're racist because they're treating me different, or I'm not looking at certain immigrants who come here and they're not allowed to vote, and somehow all of a sudden we're racist against them. Like there's, I don't know. To me, it sounds like that's what you're kind of.
The verse that you pulled out, Vocab, it just says that if the people that are poor, which is poor Israelites, you should do interest. What does that have to do if I can charge interest on a heathen?
That's what I mean. Like niggas just quote a verse and just start giving a breakdown, but don't go and read it. And if he'd have read that, could you imagine him trying to read that verse and then give that same breakdown?
But do you see my face though the whole time reading? I'm like, bro, it doesn't say what he is saying, bro. It just says don't charge interest on the poor, which are Israelites. So what they got to do with charging a heathen?
Nothing. Nothing. Read it. Read the verse.
Bro, what was it? Exodus 22 and
22 and 25.
yeah, it says, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. Don't charge interest on the poor, which are Israelites, but you can't charge interest on any Israelites. So it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
So and after reading that, how could you like? We just listened to him give like a 2 or 3 minute breakdown about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about or what he's even talking about. Is this your king?
Hey, yeah,
It says you shall because the
What's up?
are we doing smoke after you got something to do?
What, you got some smoke?
I mean, bro, in the chat talking about sending the link.
Who?
Dominique. He said, right here. Look at him.
I can crush y'all's doctrine. All right, you know what? Because I mean, we're gonna finish this. We're finishing this next week.
Yeah,
see what Dominique got. Let's see. Dominique Healing. Let's go.
Let's get it.
We got time.
You gonna do this next week, right?
Let me see. How do I forgot how to do this.
We finna go over this video next week again, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah,
bro. We only like 45 minutes into the convo.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we'll finish it out.
And we skipping bro part a little bit because I did like when he was getting on vocab ass. That was nice. That was nice.
Come on,
that
Dominique.
link for Dominique and Dominique only.
Come on, Dominique.
So you can crush our doctrine. I love it.
He finna come up here and give a sermon and not stop talking. I bet you.
Yep, that's what Vocab said. You know, that's what Taquan said. Hold up, don't put him up yet. Let's see. Do not put him up yet. Let me do this real quick.
He might get up here and do some weird, bro.
Not having it. Not having it.
Oh my god.
What's up, man?
The champ is here.
The champ is here. I'm sure he is. What's good, man?
Leviticus 25 and 6. Let's start with that one. If y'all want to pull it up on the screen real quick.
What about it?
So we see 25 and 6, Leviticus. There are 3 types of strangers in a specific verse. Or 3 types of servants, to be exact. I don't even have the scriptures in front of me. This is how easy this is, bro.
Okay.
This is how easy this is. I'm not trying to be boastful. Honestly, I do want to come up and really have a discussion with you to see if we could both be honest with each other. But I done been on so many different Israelite panels, and they run from the discussion, bro. They really do. They run from the discussion. They run from the points. They run from the definitions, and they constantly say that the stranger can be interchangeable, and it's just not true. And if y'all could show me here, Leviticus 25 is the coldest.
I'm curious. What's the point of this, though? What's the point of you came over and said there's 3 different strangers? What's the point of that?
The point is to prove that this whole thing that you was talking about you could give food, you could practice usury, right? You were saying that you could practice usury on a non-Israelite. It's just not true, and you can prove it with these specific words. You can prove it.
Hold up. So when the Bible talks about usury in Leviticus 23, who is that talking about?
You got to go to the verse, bro. You got to read it for me. I ain't even got it in front of me.
Well, let's just read that. Let's read that. We're gonna come back to what you said.
This is
I'm very curious.
You better pull over the screen. I got it.
You can start reading it. I gotta pull it up on little guy.
This is Deuteronomy 23 and verse 19. It said, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may be blessed. That the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that that thou sittest thy hand to in the land whether thou goest to prosper it.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
It means that when you click on that word stranger, you will see that this specific stranger is a Nakar. That
Mhm.
Nakar is someone who is not in covenant with the children of Israel. That is simply
So I can charge interest on a heathen.
on someone who is not in covenant, but someone who is in covenant, such as a person who is circumcised or bought with your money, just as we see in Leviticus 25:49, I believe it is, where it says that the bondservant who you buy, you can inherit him forever. It tells you that if a stranger or a sojourner goes into your land, right, you're supposed to deal with him properly. The word sojourner, if you go to Leviticus
Okay, bro.
25:49,
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. We're not gonna do a sermon. Let's slow down for a second. So you said that word stranger means somebody who's not in covenant with the Lord. So is a heathen not in covenant, in covenant with the Lord?
he can be if an Israelite purchases him. If an Israelite
Well,
breaks
I mean, if he doesn't though,
if he doesn't, nah, he a straight up heathen.
so usury can be put upon him then.
But the point that you missing though, brother, I agree with you.
Brother. That I'm not asking you the point that I'm asking you. Can I put
See, there you
can I
go.
put
You
usury in there?
running, bro. You running from my point.
Look, bro. I'm not running from any.
bro.
I'll
See?
deal with any of your point. I'm asking you straight up questions. So the heathen that is not in covenant with the Lord and who is not trying to join themselves to Israel, right? I don't agree with that, but let's just say I do for a second, right? Can he have interest put upon him?
The heathen that's not in covenant?
Yes.
Of course, brother. That's what the scriptures say.
How is that different than what we say?
It's different because when, just as I said it 3 times already, and I ain't trying to be facetious, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to be boastful. But just as I said, when I came up on here, I said the Israelites constantly run from the topic, brother. So you got me repeating myself when I just told you. The Nakar is different than one who is a guard. The guard is also a stranger. There is multiple meanings for this word. The English, they like to play games with you and put stranger here and there and there. What they really should have did was uh, 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 gave the details on what these different strangers are. But this is why we are having these issues, because most of us don't have the time to deal with the Hebrew. Shit, I don't even know Hebrew, but it takes common sense and reading comprehension to just click on that blue letter word and see what it exactly means. And the story unfolds, bro. A guard can be a non-Israelite who is your servant.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
non-Israel,
and it could also not be too.
Yeah, I'm about to say what?
but that even just because it can also be an Israelite, that don't take away from the point that non-Israelites can still be in covenant, bro.
Well, no. What the way you would reconcile that is you would have to look at the context then and what's happening.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, Leviticus 25 ain't talking about nobody being in covenant.
Well, before we get there though,
Yeah.
like if we're like Hebrew words and Greek words, they're going to be defined by the way they're used, the context, especially gar in this case. If we start at verse 19, read 19.
It's a lot. Yeah, I moved away. You got to put up that one.
It's on the screen if you want to read it.
Oh, you said 19. It said, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of visuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury."
So that's a hold on fast. So who is that? Who is that brother?
The brother is anybody in your household.
When has that been the case?
Yeah. Whoa.
When has that been the case?
Because when you love the stranger as yourself, he is your brother.
Show me that in the text.
Yeah.
Show me where a non-Israelite can become your brother.
He I mean, it's kind of. You want me to?
I'm not dealing with common sense. I want you to show me that in the text.
You want me to show you where it says that a stranger who you bought is your brother, that he is your kinsman? That's what you want me to show you?
Yes, sir. Show me that.
the only way I could really do that to show that it straight up just says it directly, because it really don't say it directly. You really got
it don't, because it's not there, brother.
It's not there.
Okay, so explain to me why is the covenant made with the drawers of water and the hewers of stone?
Brother, we're not hold up. We're not going anywhere other than here.
Oh my
jeez, we're not doing that. What's happening is this: we're dealing with the word in the gar in context, right? Like, well, you said gar, but I mean stranger right here. We see in verse 19, it says, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother." You can't find no text that says a heathen becomes your brother, because it don't exist, right? And it says usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. But it says unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So contextually, this stranger has to be a non-Israelite.
But you know why that's false? Because you can say that because it fits your doctrine. Because watch this, bro. Watch this.
No, hold up.
Give me 1 minute.
No, we're not gonna do that. You're saying you know why that's false. You couldn't show us or provide us a scripture that says a brother is a heathen can be your brother. So you were in no position to say our theology is false. That's just you want to just be what's that word called? A contrarian. You're just being a contrarian. That's all that's happening here, bro.
If the covenant is made with you, your women, your little ones, the stranger that is a drawer of water and a hewer of stone, if that covenant is made with also the stranger who can be a drawer of water and a hewer of stone, that means that the covenant that is your brother.
No, brother, we're not dealing with these crazy exegesis, right? If you cannot provide a scripture where a heathen can be your brother, that doesn't matter. You're just making an assumption. So what makes somebody your brother in the context of the Old Testament is somebody who's a children of your people.
It says, okay, you know what? So a neighbor, you know what? I can find something. So a neighbor isn't considered a brother?
If you really want to,
it's crazy work. It's crazy work.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy work, bro. It's crazy.
But see, y'all ignored all of the points that I made.
Nobody. We're not ignoring you. You just have the thing is you're not prepared to answer this.
Oh,
that is the only thing you can stand on, but you can't stand on
the context. The context of the chapter is the only thing I can stand on.
You can't stand on the Hebrew words. You can't stand on
that's fine, brother. That's fine.
I know it's
fine. That's fine, brother.
I wanted to go to Leviticus.
No, we're not. I spent 2 hours. I spent 2 hours talking to Taquan's dumbass. I'm not about to do it again.
I was about to cut him in Deuteronomy 29, bro. In Deuteronomy 29, it literally says, hold on, bro. Watch this, bro.
It's like we can't like the thing is we can't go anywhere if you can't break it down in the chapter in question as far as the brother part. Nothing you're saying is relevant. It's not. I'm gonna have to now talk about things that are irrelevant to the conversation so you can have a point in the conversation. We're not doing that. And Jim Green and this too, Jim. Now speaking of people who's running from debates, right? You see the link in the chat.
Yeah, come on, Jim. Come on up here.
Like you know, I'll tell you one thing about me, brother. I'm not above rebuking an elder. I'm not, right? So you can either be quiet in the chat and go make your one-sided videos like you like to do, right? And also you should actually, Jim Green, right? And I also want to thank you for telling us about Logos, because now we got it now.
Hey, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Because of you. Oh,
hey, you changed the game.
You said we ain't have money like that. And now we got the academic version of Logos.
He messed up on that, boy. You think we broke? You messed up on that, brother.
You
messed up on that one.
So thank you, sir.
In the verse we brought up, the word is ger. Like, he acts like we don't read the Bible.
I mean, the link was sent. The link was sent about like 10 minutes ago. All he has to do is scroll up, and he can jump on.
All he has to do is scroll up, man.
He's not hopping in here.
He's not. He's not. But Ket, do you want to deal with Kethy?
Bro,
do you want to? I mean, I'll leave it up to y'all if y'all want to deal with Kethy.
What you say? No.
I don't know who Kethy is.
That's Kethy, bro. That's the brother that, bro. Everybody's talking to this man in Sicarii and just been cutting him. He don't understand.
Oh, he's a punching bag.
Yes, he's a punching bag.
I mean, if you're bored, I mean, we've been debating people for the past 24 hours, man.
Yeah.
We got him right before here. We debated somebody, so it's like, bro.
Do you want to deal with him or not? I mean, I can take it or leave it.
Bring him up.
Bring him up, bro.
Go ahead.
Bring him up. See what he got to say.
Let's see. Put that back, just in case he's an imposter.
What it do, Kethy? He done walked away from the computer, but he was in here waiting for the smoke.
I'm just surprised, Jim. What's going on?
Hey,
Jim said he never said anybody was broke.
Yeah, that's real funny.
I watched the video.
There's too many receipts, Jim.
Bro, Jim, don't do that.
I was gonna let him make it, and I mean, I was gonna let him. It was cool,
bro, because I was a little offended by that comment. That's why I said, nah, bro, we about to get logos then.
Yeah,
you think Hebrew Israelites don't got a job? All right. Like, I don't slave for the white man every day.
Yeah, Come on, Kethy. Lord and Christ, man.
He'll come back up.
Go once, twice. So I'm not dealing with Buddy with the stranger. It's not happening. Y'all can deal with. Oh, he said he's coming back. He put it in the private chat. He said,
bro, let me deal with him real quick. Let me deal with him in the Deuteronomy 29, bro. Let me just deal with him right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, bring him up.
He has until Kethy comes back because I'm not going to.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Leviticus 19. He wanted to talk about Leviticus 19.
The chat is back.
Oh my God.
Hey, bro. So you were saying in Deuteronomy 29 that the covenant is made with the heathen?
Now look. Let's go to Leviticus 25. And I'm gonna get up off y'all thing. I'm gonna stop trolling, right? Because that's how y'all think I'm scoffing and I'm trolling. Let's go to Leviticus 25 where it talk about the kinsman the kinsman redeemer. His uncle could buy his nephew by slavery. Let's go to it real quick.
What verse?
At first he said Leviticus 25 and 6.
Okay. No, not 6, 25 and 40. I believe it's 47.
Leviticus 25:47. And if a stranger or it says if a sojourner or a stranger waxes rich by thee, and thy brother that dwell by him wax poor, and he sell himself unto the stranger or the sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may redeem again one of his brethren may redeem him. And okay, that's just saying that an Israelite can redeem his brother from being a slave to a stranger.
Watch this, big bro. Watch this.
Hold on real quick before you go. I'm about to go run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
This gonna be the snare, bro. And I ain't even laying the snare, but you're gonna have to live with this once we get off of this. Okay. If I'm a half Israelite and I got an uncle.
We don't believe in half Israelites. The Bible don't even say anything about being a half Israelite.
That's fine. But if my mother is an Israelite, my father is a non-Israelite, right?
Yeah.
Can I be bought out of slavery by my Israelite uncle?
By your Israelite uncle?
Yes, sir.
Is that what the verse says in 47?
That's exactly what it says.
It says, or his uncle or his cousin may redeem him. Where does it say that? Is this off your mother's side? Oh, he just kicked him off. Or he just fell off. I'm about to say, bro, where does it even give you whose side of the family your father is an Israelite on in this? Bro, fell off, cuz. I was trying to dive into that. It don't even, bro. When you read verse 47 and 48 or
Bro,
49,
the daggers in verse 50, bro.
I know that I was gonna let bro just walk himself down, but I just wanted to ask him, where in this does it say that this is a person whose mother is an Israelite and her brother is buying you out? Where does it say? Bro, he just fell off. But he was trying to say that in Leviticus 25 and 49, he was trying to say, well, let's say you were half Israelite and your mama an Israelite and her brother buys you out of slavery. And I'm
No,
he don't even say that.
Yeah, I told y'all.
Bro. It's good, bro. I tried. Never mind, bro. You was right. You gotta listen sometimes.
I'm just saying, bro. He's I've been on different platforms. Nobody want to do like that lets you know everything you need to know, bro.
And I want to bring up verse 50, what you was talking about, bro.
So first Leviticus 25 and 50. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold to him until the year of Jubilee. And the pieces of his sale shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of a hired servant shall it be with him. So the part where it says that he was sold unto him until the year of Jubilee, the only people that you can release free in the year of Jubilee, that you're commanded to release in the year of Jubilee, is an Israelite. So yeah, no, this stranger here is not a heathen. The actual heathen is when you jump up in verse 39 down to 46.
That's a heathen.
That's an actual heathen. So yeah.
It's
really, you mean verse 44 on the 46. That's an actual heathen. 44 to 46 is actual heathen. But either way it goes, Cut don't know what the hell he talking about.
So where buddy at with the smoke, man? I got 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes of smoke, man. We'll wait till they come back. You want to go a little bit, just a little bit longer in another video?
Yeah, shoot, we can.
Yeah, I got 15.
Yeah. The Israelites it's specifically designed to protect the poor, meaning there's some question within exegetes about.
I'm not going to lie to you. That sounds like they're protecting their people and getting over on heathen.
Well,
when I go into the word for usury, it means to get over on somebody.
Well, see, usury is an obsolete English word. I want to look at the Hebrew words here. Not.
He didn't understand what I said. He didn't understand that I was reading the Hebrew right there. That's literally what it says.
He only said that because he wanted to sound smart. Well, that's an English word. We know what it is, bro.
Like usury in the modern sense can't have a negative connotation. You're right about that, but that's why we shouldn't use a modern connotation, because remember the KJV, that's where the usury comes from. It's translated in 1611. So we're using that definition that's aged since now, but it's not as if the original word means usury. So I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that's why we.
But what are you saying though?
Yeah, I don't, bro.
You say a lot and say nothing. He said it means the words can age a little bit, so we don't know if it really says what it says in the English.
We don't really know if that's what it really means.
We don't know what the Bible says then, because you could say that about the rest of the words then.
Yeah, bro. How can you prove the heathen can be saved? How do we know they really say that?
Shouldn't use usury, because the question is that what the Hebrew word means? It just has to do with charging interest. It's designed to protect Israel's economy, which is not a racist thing. All nations should protect their economies. And it's designed especially to protect the poor. That's why I brought it to Exodus 22 passage, because it specifically designates this is for poor Israelites. So the point by saying that is that's not racist. That's national interest. That's international commerce. I gave the modern example of tariffs on Chinese steel. That's a perfectly good parallel to the type of situation we're talking about. And that's why I mentioned earlier, the question is, were Israelites allowed to use unequal weights and measures with outsiders? They were not. See, there's a difference between ripping someone off and having a fair business practice. Interest is a fair business practice because you are allowing someone to borrow capital while you do not have access to that capital that they are now using, but it's actually yours. So it's a fair business practice to charge interest on it.
You said you want to go into the Hebrew. When you go into the Hebrew for H5391, the word there is to strike with a sting as a serpent, figuratively, or to oppress with interest on a loan. If I oppress another person from interest because they're not my people, is that racist?
Okay, I feel like we've answered that question. It has to do with
Nah,
That
nah.
boy was confounded.
I felt like I've been confounded, but I mean, I gave an answer.
The crazy part is when you go into the word, it says like it actually means like a bite. It means to like vex somebody, bro.
Yeah. But hold on real quick. Look at Buddy on the bottom, bro. Look, he's like, no, Vocab, no.
Is this your king?
How can this be?
Is this your king?
Y'all remember Dave Chappelle, the first episode where they had the black white supremacists?
Yes.
Yeah.
When the white dude came up, the white news reporter came up and he said, I'm looking for Clayton Bigsby. He said, well, look no farther, you found him.
Look no farther.
And he said, how can this be?
Oh man,
bro, Terry is like, wow, I didn't know that he was gonna go into the Hebrew. Yeah, bro, what you thought you just had a bro? Do they think we just simple, bro?
I just feel like I thought they thought they was gonna set you up, and then like y'all was gonna be some simpletons.
Yeah, I know. They thought, bro, I think that's what happened. I think they thought we was some hams, bro.
Yeah.
And you found out the wrong way, boy.
The wrong way. Ever since that debate I had on there, bro, I'm telling you.
They want to bring us back, boy.
National interest, which is not the same thing as being racist.
So when white people charge black people higher interest, or America charges blacks more than whites, is that racist?
If these are black American citizens, that's racist. If these are foreigners from another country, that's
he's trying to speed past it.
He's trying to speed past it now. Hold on, brother. Hold on, slow down.
That's racist. But this is crazy.
Then that's protecting national interest.
Let's take the same
which
logic.
Makes sense.
Let's take the same logic. You said that if white people, let's say if white people were charging black people interest to oppress them or to get over on them.
There we go. Cover. Wait, Kathy, you got a good 10 minutes, man. Hold up. There we go. Kathy, how was your internet connection in Congo?
Oh, is that Kathy? Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yes, is that Kathy?
Oh man.
How many lions did you have to fight today?
Oh shit.
Come on, Kathy, man. Come on, man. All you gotta do is allow your microphone. We can get this, we can get this sacrificial lamb out the way, man. Going once. Oh, you shot your shot, man. That was it. We're gonna keep on going. This guy.
That would be racist.
By your definition of racist, remember, I like sticking to the biblical words, specifically which is partiality and stealing. These are the biblical words. Usury is not in and of itself a biblical word. That's an English translation of the word, right? But the concept there in the
right?
Huh?
You would use favoritism, right? For the Bible,
favoritism in the sense of in the way James talks about when he talks about partiality. That's an unjust judgment, right?
So if I have favoritism to an Israelite, so I don't charge him interest, but I don't show favoritism to a heathen, so I charge him more, and I oppress him with usury, is that racist?
It's not oppression; it's a fair business practice. Lending interest to someone is a fair business.
Bro, that's why. Hey, if it's a fair business practice to charge charge usury or interest on another person because they don't look the same, that is crazy, bro.
And that's why I said you're a white supremacist, because then it's fair to what's happening to black people over here in America is fair. Then that's crazy word.
He basically said, "Yo, so the way America treats y'all and charges y'all more interest, That's fair. That's just a fair business practice. Wow. He's a racist. Okay, if you think it's fair for Israel to do that, hey, bro, I really don't got a problem with that. As long if you believe it's fair, then hey, bro, we can just
Well, I mean, you wouldn't benefit from it. You wouldn't benefit from it.
I know. I'm a Black American.
Yeah, but no, what I mean is, but what I mean is, by you wouldn't benefit it. You don't have any evidence you're an Israelite. In fact, you guys were talking about Amalekites earlier.
And there it is. You guys can't prove you. That's a good stopping point right there, because we can get on that. You guys can't prove you're Israelite. You may have confounded me here, but you guys can't prove you're Israelite. So
can't prove you're Israelite. Don't switch on it.
Yeah.
That shit crazy, man.
I didn't even notice how bad I like low key confounding him, bro. I'm just, when you in the moment of doing things, you don't notice it, but like, bro, he was confounded.
Look at this. Look at this. It's the fake DJ Vlad apology.
I've been on a tear, bro.
That shit is crazy.
Oh, man.
This shit. Oh my God, Kathy. Look, bro. Hold up. This is, you literally have 10 seconds. Kathy.
Okay, can you all hear me now?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I didn't have to fight any lions today to get here, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Just had a very rough day at work, but it's all good.
Oh, man, what's up, man? What you got today?
Yeah, just a quick question because I watched not all of it, but I watched part of the debate yesterday that the two brothers were having with Vocab, and I thought while I was watching it, I heard about something that was very interesting. One of the things that one of the brothers said while he was defining what salvation was, he said salvation. I'm just paraphrasing, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, if I get it wrong. But he says salvation means uh, glorification for those whom God foreknew. And so uh, that's pretty much all I got from it. And so I wanted to ask him a question in regards to a biblical verse. But before I do so, I just wanna uh, I just want to know more from like where he's coming from, like how he defines salvation. Like, is it just like the glorification of the people who God foreknew, or could it mean something else?
You on mute.
Yeah, so glorification wasn't our definition. Glorification was the definition of the brothers on the panel. We went to Romans 8 to show how that glorification and that justification was attributed to the people who God foreknew and predestinated. And those the same people who God foreknew or predestinated prophetically proclaimed what their salvation was going to be, which then I went to Luke 1:68 and then Revelations 12:10, which they did not answer. So, I mean, would you like to answer Revelations 12:10 or Luke 1:68? Because that's the biblical definition of salvation that we hold to. You're on mute if you're speaking. You're on mute again.
Okay, can I be heard now?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, let me open my Bible and pull up the verse.
Which one? Luke 1:68 or Revelations 12:10?
We could look at both. Right now, I'm looking at Luke 1:68 first.
Beautiful.
So, it says, "Blessed is the Lord God of Israel, for He has visited and redeemed His people."
What was that? I didn't hear you.
Verse 60, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading it.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
says,
hear you.
Yeah. Well, if you want, you can read it for yourself. I was just reading it so that I can give my understanding of it.
Yeah,
But
go ahead, read it.
if you'd like, that's cool. You can read it.
Go ahead and read the verse, brother.
Okay. It says, Blessed is the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of David. David is in the house of his servant David. Um, is it is that the entire thing?
Keep reading.
As he spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets, who have been since the world began, that we should
Mm-hmm.
be saved from our enemies and from the end of all who hate us.
Mm-hmm. Read to
To
verse
perform,
read to verse 74.
okay, verse 72. It says, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, to grant us that we, being delivered from the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear in holiness. Who else? That's 74.
Yep. So
Okay,
what about it?
so yeah, the way I look at this passage right here, it's speaking about Jesus coming and visiting his own people. Like it says in John 1:10, I believe, says he came to his own, and his own did not receive him. So that's what I believe is the time of visitation. And he also talks about it in the same book of Luke. Um, Let me get it in. Yeah, in Luke 19, Jesus, you know, Jesus was wiping, and he was weeping for, because he visited his people, and they did not accept him. They did not understand that he was the actual Messiah that the prophets prophesied about concerning. So, and Jesus was wiping about it in Luke 19, and it says, I'm gonna start at verse.
Wait,
mhm,
you said Jesus was weeping because his people rejected him?
yes.
You talking
Um,
about when he was in the garden?
no, in Luke 19, when he weeps over Jerusalem.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make
Uh,
that clear.
let me see, I'm trying to-
But I mean, again, no, we're looking at Luke 1, 76 to 73. If salvation is for everybody, why do we see in this prophetic statement to perform, well, first that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercies promised to our fathers? So
mhm.
number one, if salvation is for everybody, who are these enemies that we are supposed to be saved from?
I would say the like the enemies of the Jews, like those the Gentiles nations who hate the Jews, like you know, yeah, like any Gentile nations that dislike the God's people, so would be considered an enemy. So that's who I would understand to mean as
Mhm.
enemy there.
So can those nations receive this salvation?
Yes, they can still receive salvation because I don't.
Wait, those
I,
those enemies, the one listed in Luke 1 and 71, the enemies of the Jews, can receive the salvation listed in Luke 1 and 71?
no, 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 and that's what I was about to explain is that I don't think the biblical, like I don't think the salvation that Jesus has brought, well, I'm gonna say this, I don't think Luke 1 and 71 is like a clear definition of the salvation that Jesus has brought, by dying on the cross. I think it's more like a promise made to the Jewish nation that they will not be suffering the persecution that they have always dealt with, throughout history. And so it's like a prophecy of comfort, like to comfort them that they'll be delivered from it. So I don't
So
think
if it's not the salvation that Jesus is bringing, why in verse 69 it says, and have, well, verse 68, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. What
mhm,
is this horn of salvation here that's being risen up in the house of his servant David?
mhm.
What salvation is that?
Yeah, like I said, I believe it's just a prophecy of comfort, like a deliverance from all the captivities that the Jews as had endured throughout history. So that's what I believe that salvation is talking about there. Because
Okay, and
remember,
that's the biblical salvation that we see all throughout the Bible. Is Israel being rescued from the lands of their captivities, from their enemies?
no, especially in light of like the old
That's
Bible,
no,
like in the yes, like if you look at the old concept of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, you see um you see you really see like what's going on there with humanity, you see that humanity has a need of a savior all throughout and
no,
so
no.
Paul he
So
also
let me stop you. It literally says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which had been since the world began. So it's prophetic. It's something that the prophets have already spoken about. This specific horn of salvation. Like, where
I
is
agree.
that? Yeah. So if you agree, where is that in the scriptures?
Yeah, it's found out through all the prophets. Like I said, uh, this is this is a prophecy of comfort. That God has not forsaken His people. That He is gonna deliver them from their enemies. And you can read the prophets
Brother,
Jeremiah,
I'm not gonna lie
Isaiah.
to you. You are not answering his question, bro.
Yeah. What prophecy states that non-Israelites are going to receive the salvation that the Messiah is going to usher in?
Because
Well, now
every
you're
question
asking a
goes
different
somewhere
question.
in Paul.
First, you asked, where could we find this prophecy that's being spoken in Luke 1:68, correct?
Uh, it's many places you can go. Where you want to go?
That's what I'm saying.
I need a prophecy, because you're saying all this to say that the heathens can receive this salvation that
No, I'm not. No, no,
Zechariah is talking about. Yes.
no.
Wait. Before we go anywhere, so so Kathy, you understand in Luke 1 it says saved, correct?
Yes.
Do you understand that's sozo and it means like the same salvation you see in other places in the New Testament, right?
No, that's where I would disagree with. Uh, I
I
don't
mean
believe
where the
this.
word appears.
Yeah, we see salvation all throughout the Bible, not just only in the New
I
Testament, but
mean the
all throughout.
Greek word.
Yeah, yeah, and I was gonna give this point right here. Paul used the same
Well,
word
well,
salvation, the
hold up,
same Greek
Kevy.
word.
Hold up, Kevy, real fast. So I'm trying to figure out. So in other places in the Bible, in the New Testament, salvation means what you believe salvation is, as far as like for all nations, the one that Christ brought in. But for some reason, in Luke 1, it just means something completely different.
Not at all. This is my point. So salvation, if we're gonna define salvation, salvation just means deliverance from something, being delivered from something, being redeemed from something, right? So, uh, salvation can have nuances in its definitions. For example, Paul talks about him being saved while he was in prison, meaning he was delivered out of prison, and he used the same Greek word that's being used here in Luke 1:68. So, and he has to be understood in his proper context because he's talking about being delivered in prison. So
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
get the
saying.
fact that that's sozo, like basically like
Right,
delivered from peril in a dangerous situation. I
right.
would agree with you as far as the nuances goes.
Mhm.
Now, before we leave Luke, can what that salvation in Luke, is that for anybody outside of Israel
No, I
in
see
Luke 1?
this. No, yeah, that's what I was telling the brother earlier. I see this as something only pertaining to, the Israelites because it's a
Oh,
prophecy of comfort because, God still promised to take care of them, to deliver them from all the captivities that they have been through, throughout history. Uh, I could use one verse that speaks about it.
but before we get there, Kathy, now, because I like to get all the meat off the bone on chapters, right? So the salvation you're talking about, as far as what the Gentiles can get, as far as the kingdom goes, is that the promise of Abraham?
Mhm. So,
That's a yes or no question.
Oh, that sounded like it was tough to answer.
well,
Because I'd really love to know.
so God promised Abraham is gonna make Abraham, you know, a father of many nations. It's gonna make him first a great nation. He's gonna be a father
Well,
of many
Kat,
nations.
before you go into your dissertation, I just need a yes or no, and then you could substantiate it.
Okay, could you read it, like rephrase your question one more time
The,
for me,
the, the
please, brother?
salvation you believe that the Gentiles can receive, is
Mhm.
that from the promise of Abraham?
Yes, yes.
So why then, when we read farther in Luke chapter 1, because you said this chapter is for Israel, it says when we read verse 70, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore unto our father Abraham, that he will grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. The context of Luke chapter 1, he's telling you that Israel being saved and delivered from their enemies is the fulfillment of the Abrahamic promise. If the
I don't.
Gentiles, if you believe the Gentiles are receiving salvation due to that promise, why are they not mentioned here?
Yeah, like I said, I don't. I believe this as only pertaining to the Israelites. I don't think Gentiles could be
No,
included in
that's not
this.
my point, though.
Yeah, Captain, you kind of missing it. He's you believe that Gentiles are fellow heirs to the Abrahamic covenant. I mean, Abrahamic promise, right?
Yes.
He's asking you, how can that be when the promise is them getting saved from the Gentiles? The Abrahamic promise is his seed being saved from the Gentiles.
That's the fulfillment of
No,
it.
that's not the Abrahamic covenant, though. You see,
Yes,
that's the point.
brother.
The
Yes, it is. That's
It
Genesis
says it.
17.
Okay, how about we pull up the Abrahamic covenant in its proper context?
Okay,
No. Wait. Before we go there, what is the oath that is sworn to our father Abraham? What is that?
That's what I've been asking the whole
That
time.
is going to send that is going to set the promised seed, which is the Messiah.
So
So
that's not the Abrahamic covenant.
that is the Abrahamic covenant. Yes.
You got it done, Waller.
But but let's look at the Abrahamic covenant and what it actually says in its proper context. I mean, if we can.
I mean, we can, brother, but the point is, what salvation is Christ prophesied to bring? And you already admitted that salvation is Christ saving the Israelites from the land of their enemies. So I really don't know what we're talking about no more at this point, because you already agreed on that.
yeah, bro. Like it really makes no sense. You already agree with me that you believe that the Gentiles get the same promise that Abraham was given, but yet the promise to Abraham is for them to get saved from the Gentiles. How does that make sense, brother?
And you literally said Luke
No.
Luke 1 and 68 on down is for Israel. Like I'm just confused. It sounds like you agree with our point.
Yes,
I already
it
told you
is for
that
it is
this
for
is
Israel.
salvation according to us.
Right, it is for Israel, and Israel missed it. Israel missed the chance. That's why Jesus was
No,
weeping.
no, we're not even
Was
finna do that.
It don't
It's
say that.
the Bible states, and even Paul states that Israel gets the promises regardless.
well, I could show it to you in Luke 19. That's where I was going at before we kind of change topic. But in Luke 19, Jesus is weeping over Jerusalem because they have missed the time of visitation that's being spoken here in chapter 1. It's the same book. So Jesus says, you let me go back there in Luke 19. Um, if I could just read it, please.
Luke 19 and what?
Luke 19, verse 44. But we could We could start at verse 41 for the proper
And you're about to
context
read this to say what?
to show that yes, Jesus came to redeem his people, but they missed it because the Jews
They
expected the
missed it.
Messiah. Yes, they missed the opportunity. The Jews expected the Messiah to come and
So when
deliver
is
them.
when is Luke 1:68 on down is going to happen if they missed it?
If they miss it, does that mean that's not gonna happen no more?
Oh, well, it will happen in the future.
So what are we talking about, brother?
That makes no sense.
So what are we talking about, brother? If this is going to happen in the future, and this is salvific, and you've already said that the other nations, those enemies there, are not receiving this salvation, and it's the
Yes,
promised salvation that the prophet spoke about, what are we talking about?
That
The
means
only
so
thing
do you think, if I may ask you, do you think that Jesus came only to give a certain group, ethnic group of people, uh, you know, salvation, to mean that they will be delivered from a captivity? That's all Jesus came to do.
he came to also to die for their sins. He died for a certain group of people's sins too.
brother,
Right,
that's not that,
that,
and that's
and
not
that's
even
the
what we're talking
gospel.
about here. Hold on, Kefi.
That's the gospel.
Hold on, Kefi. We're not talking about what all Christ did or is going to do. We're talking about salvation. According to the Bible, what salvation is the Messiah prophesied to bring about, to spearhead? You've already agreed, Luke 1:68, that said prophecy of Christ bringing that salvation is to the Israelites
Hmm.
and only to the Israelites.
Again, yes, 100%.
So
And
what do
that's
we
the.
talk? You can't say yes and but at the same time.
But what I'm
Luke
saying though
7
is
is
that
Luke 7:68 to 74? Is it talking about the salvation of Israel?
yes, salvation. But again, salvation can mean different things,
No,
right?
no, Kethy.
So
No,
salvation
Kethy.
there.
Let me say let
Let
me
me
ask you
explain,
one more
brother. Let me
time.
explain.
Yeah, he's
Let me ask you one more time. In Luke 1,
Hmm.
68 through 74, is
Hmm.
that talking about the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is going to bring?
Yes,
Now, is that to Israel?
yes.
Is that to anyone else?
No, it's not for the.
So we have nothing else to talk about, Kefti.
yeah. There is no other spiel that you can
But
give to try to break down how the Gentiles are going to be saved.
That is salvation. Now, if you want to talk about, if
because
you
you
want to
believe I'm
hold on,
about
Kefti, hold
to
on, Kefti,
include
hold on,
them.
Kefti, hold on, Kefti.
Okay.
If you want to talk about world peace or Gentiles
No,
getting
not
blessed
no. I'm talking about
and them
relations of
getting
things.
healed,
I'm
that's a
talking
whole
about
different
relation.
conversation. But
Well, brother.
we're talking about the prophetic salvation that the Messiah was prophesied to bring, and you
Okay.
agreed is
And,
to Israel and only
right.
Israel.
And
What
let me
else
tell
is
you
there to
what
talk
it.
about?
And let me tell you what other thing he came to bring into fulfillment. Isaiah 53. He was bruised for our transgressions. He was bruised for our trespasses. So
Whose
that's
transgression?
uh well I'm about to get there, but the point is that it's something else that Jesus came also to do, and it's
Oh, yeah,
already
but see you going. See, my brother here asked you a specific question on salvation. It don't matter what you got. You're talking about
Bro,
something.
he already agreed with
Wait,
Yeah,
no,
salvation.
no,
he
no.
already
I
agreed.
am
Let's follow
confused
this
as
though.
what are we talking about?
He's trying to go. He's trying to
I
go
want to follow
down.
this real quick though.
what did they agree about? What
Wait,
did they agree
hold
again?
up, Kathy. Kathy, finish what you're gonna say on Isaiah 53.
Yeah, I need to hear
Right.
that.
So Jesus came not only to deliver the Jews, and that's something we have to wait till the future for that to happen. It's not happening right now, but the salvation that's being spoken in the gospel is the redemption and remissions of sin. Jesus crucified. That's what the early apostles preached. So, and he died for the sins of the people, and it was
Which
prophesied
people?
in the law of the Torah.
Which
Uh,
people?
for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, the only one.
Whoa,
So
Kathy. No,
Whoa.
no. We're not doing that,
He
Kathy.
tried. Hey, yeah,
So,
he tried to go to prophecy and then
hell no.
jump to.
That's
So,
why I
Kathy,
said I have no clue why we're going anywhere else. The man already
Kathy,
admitted salvation is
right,
for Israel and Israel
right
only.
here where
but
it
that
says, hold
salvation
up.
is
Oh,
from
no, Kathy.
captivity.
Wait,
It's
we're
not
not
from
doing that.
sin.
Let's read verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Who's Isaiah's people?
God's people. Well, this is
No,
yeah.
no. Who is Isaiah's people?
Isaiah's people of that time would be the ethnic Jews.
Oh, okay then. So what are we talking about then?
Yeah, but in the New Testament,
But didn't get the fuck out of here, Kathy.
So now the New Testament, that's what I'm saying. A Christian try to use the New Testament as if it changes prophecy. Now all of a sudden, all these prophecies that Israel's getting saved changes in the New Testament. Like, bro.
But that's the thing, though. He didn't even agree that it changed. The man literally agreed that the prophecies concerning salvation is for Israel and Israel only. That's why I was highly confused as why are we going anywhere else, bro? You just agreed.
That's why I asked him. I said, "So do you believe that the Gentiles get the same promise of Abraham?" He said, "Yes." I said, "How is that possible if the promise of Abraham is that his seed is going to get saved from the Gentiles?"
I want to show something. I did it. I did it before. No, not the fact book. I don't need the fact book. My people. Citizenry. God, I'm about ready. I'm about ready to go to the. There it is. Yeah. These is my people. Is his family, kin, clan, relatives, father's side, a group, a tribe.
Ooh,
bro, this is Israelites. A very large kinship group regarded as related biologically as well as language and other cultural common features. That's a race. That's his race. We're not about to do but the New Testament. No. You went there to try to substantiate your point. If you wanted to get to John 3:16, just read John 3:16. We're not about to bastardize a prophecy so you can read John 3:16. No, Kathy. No, it's not happening, bro.
But even with that though, man, the topic and even what happened last night, if we're talking about salvation, what it is, the man literally agreed that that's the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is bringing is to Israel and to Israel only. There's nothing else to talk about.
Nothing.
There's literally, that's why I was confused. And oh, bro, you just don't understand what you just said. There's nothing else to talk about.
No, I understand this. What he's saying is like there's nuances with the word sozo. Also, I forgot what it's translated from in the what Hebrew word is, but it's sozo. Now you have certain nuances like where it could be delivered from peril, but he's just gonna go to a Paul's epistle and just use the whole Gentile argument. That's the only thing that's the only thing that's gonna happen.
But you see, that's why I took that away from the start. I said the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is going to bring. Who is getting that here in Luke 1 and 68? The man agreed, Israel and Israel only. I'm like, oh, bro, there's nothing we can talk about then. From here on, you're playing a game.
Games are being played, but yeah, man, y'all give y'all salutations, man. I'm about to close this down.
Hey, man, it's just all praises to the Most High, man. You know, he said that babes will confound the wise, and that's what we're looking at. We're just looking at babes, man, confounding these apologists, confounding men who's been trying to come up against his truth for so long, but you can't come up against his truth because now you're fighting against God.
Yeah, man, I just want to give all glory to God. Just, you know, it's a blessing to see how far a brother has came. You know, I know if me in the past was to see me now, we would have never thought we'd be doing this. And bro, I just hope we do greater works than what we have done that last Tuesday, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to close out on this since I said it.
Oh, and we want all the smoke. I'm just gonna say.
Let's see, where is that?
Well, it's true.
I want to read this before we go. So this is Acts chapter 5 and verse 38. It reads, "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, You cannot overthrow it. Least happily you be found even to fight against God. And that's what you see our Christian brothers and sisters doing, and they're fighting against God. And that's why this truth isn't stopping. That's why this truth is growing. That's why our brothers are getting stronger and stronger. Because here's the kicker part, right? Even us, we got men underneath us that's getting stronger to combat the doctrines that have been on this world for so long, because the doctrines that the whole world believes is true is false. So Christians, it's either you get with the movement or you really just need to leave Israelites alone, because you're literally fighting against God at this point.
And have been for the longest, man. But yeah, man, with that, before we go, man, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the video, man. Be on your heart, Cash App, Sicarii Dallas, Cash App, Space City. Or is it Sicarii Houston?
Sicarii Houston. Yeah, that's our Cash App.
Yeah, Sicarii Houston, man, for being on your heart. If you want to donate to the prophets, man. But yeah, man, we're going to pick this back up next Wednesday, because there's so much more of this conversation to talk about. Are y'all going to put it on y'all channel?
Yeah. We're gonna put it. We just gotta see. We just gotta see if we're gonna doctor it up a little bit, make it a little bit more appealing, or we just gonna drop it.
Hey, whatever, man.
Hey man, you know how Space City do, man. We like
man, I know you.
Their attention span is small, man. You gotta get their attention, man.
You gotta get the people going.
Gotta get the people going.
But yeah, man. With that, I want to say, call all Yahweh by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Shalom.
Shalom.